What is going on, everybody? Off the Mic Sports Network here. So we are through a preseason game with the Cleveland Browns, and naturally, everybody is losing their fucking minds. Shedeur Sanders plays a significant portion of the game. The Browns win 30-10 over the Carolina Panthers. Shedeur, pretty solid game. 14-23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked twice, 106 passer rating. Um, this despite, hey, Jerry Jeudy didn't play. David Njoku didn't play. He wasn't really even playing against, I think, even, um, high level guys from the Carolina Panthers. But I've seen a lot of conjecture online and, dialogue online about, man, we got a franchise quarterback. We found a diamond in the rough. Guys, I've been doing this and I have been watching this team for long enough to know that one start is not going to change a goddamn thing about this team. I remember back in the doldrum days of, hey, Tim Couch. And, I remember Kelly Holcomb. Derek Anderson thought that he was the gift to the city. Hell, Johnny Manziel coming in, Guys, this is a preseason game. Baker Mayfield, I remember Baker Mayfield's first preseason start. And, that led to some success. Guys, Shedeur Sanders is a 5th-round pick. We were not far removed from Stephen A. Smith and RG3 saying that he was being set up to fail. He did what a rookie quarterback in a situation that he is in should. He went out there, completed some passes, threw a couple touchdowns, a couple of impressive plays. Like, he looked composed. He looked like the moment was not too big for him. I would expect that from a guy who played Division I football. Was above 500 quarterback at a D1 program in Colorado. His dad is literally one of the most recognizable and one of the most accomplished athletes of our time in Deion Sanders. Of course, I was going to think that he was going to be able to do okay in this situation. Does that mean that he should automatically be the starter for the Cleveland Browns? No. One start is not going to change a goddamn thing about this. Now, what the path forward could be out of this gets really, really interesting because, part of the reason why Shedeur Sanders got this opportunity is because the rest of the QB roster was hurt. Kenny Pickett didn't play. Joe Flacco didn't play. Dylan Gabriel didn't play. All these guys were nicked up. It was Tyler Huntley and Shedeur Sanders this entire game. So I don't think Shedeur Sanders is starting the season opener against the Bengals. I don't see that happening. I just do not see a path forward to get there. Now, what could be interesting about the rest of this preseason for the Browns is, do they potentially use this? Because there has been rumors about potentially trading a quarterback. Because I do not see a scenario where they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks on this roster. I just don't see. Like, Kenny Pickett may get traded. I don't foresee them trading Joe Flacco. He's a veteran who said he wants to be in Cleveland. So I think you could trade Kenny Pickett. You could trade Dylan Gabriel. You could trade Shedeur Sanders. Was I impressed by Shedeur? Yes, I was. But also, I'm not surprised. Again, like I said, the big thing with Shedeur Sanders is he's a very accurate quarterback. He was raised by a Hall of Famer and one of the great athletes that we've ever seen in Deion Sanders. So, of course, I expected him to do well. It's just everybody is trying to make this guy out to be like a hero or a victim or whatever. And it is leading to this really odd dialogue within, the national media and also in the Browns fan base. And as a Browns fan of this team for most of my life, I have seen so many people come in, shine in a preseason game or shine in a regular season game, and it amounts to nothing. So forgive me if I'm skeptical. Also, I have my own experiences with this young man in terms of personally and how he's conducted himself within the media when I covered the Pac-12. And then also, let's call it what it is. In a bad Pac-12 or in a top-heavy Pac-12 where, there was opportunities there and, really outside of Oregon and Washington, like there were some decent teams in that league, but They went like 4-8, and then they had a golden opportunity in the Big 12 last year to go play for a Big 12 championship and go to the college football playoff. Went to Kansas and lost. Forgive me if I'm skeptical about this guy. This guy's talent did not outweigh the baggage that he had of being Deion and the shadow that he had of being Deion Sanders' son. That's why he fell to the 5th round. So forgive me if I want to see more from this young man and see more. And the reason why he is so far down the depth chart is because he is being treated like every single other 5th round rookie. This isn't Bronny James, where, hey, his dad's going to get him a contract, okay? This is Shedeur. He is, to his credit, he has distanced himself from his dad. He has tried to make this about him and trying to earn everything. What I don't like is the media and the national media itself basically saying, hey, we expect Shedeur. Why isn't Shedeur getting more hype? Why is he being set up to fail? Which is a bunch of bullshit. And then you got the fan base after he throws a couple touchdowns in a preseason game against a bunch of guys who may not amount to anything in the NFL. And we're expecting, oh my God, he might be the savior. Guys, you want to know how many dudes who've walked through the door and walked into Cleveland and walked into that building in Berea, Ohio, and we thought we were going to be the fucking savior of this franchise? We thought it was going to be Deshaun Watson, despite us being a bunch of fucking morons. I'm not ready to crown this guy after one, and all you engagement farmers and all you people on the internet, the Nick Carneses and all these other motherfuckers in the media who think that just one start where you go 14-23, throw a couple touchdowns, very nice. You think that warrants him to just automatically be the starter because of his last name? Really? Have you guys not been through the same misery that I have been in for the last 25 or so years? We have seen so many accomplished quarterbacks, so many people like Johnny Manziel. Say what you will about Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield. Those guys won fucking Heisman trophies in college. What the fuck did Shedeur Sanders do? He's the son of a Hall of Famer. He had a Heisman Trophy winner on his team. He's very talented. He was 13-12 in Division I football. Everybody propped him up to be better than Cam Ward. He fell to the 5th round. Cam Ward went number 1 overall. You want to know why? Because Cam Ward doesn't have the bullshit attached to him, and he has the physical ability to match up to and the maturity to match up to that. I think Shedeur has the maturity, but there's a lot of nonsense that surrounds him. And he's not nearly as talented as people prop him up to be. He accomplished a lot in college, but forgive me if I want to see more from this guy, considering what happened, the nature of how he got drafted, the fact that he's a 5th round pick, what his last name is, and considering everything that I have seen from Cleveland Browns football over the last 25, 30 years, one preseason game is not going to change my outlook of how I think about this football team. This team is going to be bad this year, and if you're throwing Shedeur Sanders into the fire, like, maybe that might be a good thing because then you can find out if he's worth a damn or not. Or, hey, if he goes and balls out the rest of this preseason, the Rams might need a quarterback because Matthew Stafford may not be healthy. He's having some issues health-wise. But like I said, if you're one of these schmucks in the fan base who's trying to prop up him, oh my God, we finally got our guy. Have you not been watching Cleveland Browns football for the last 2-3 decades? One preseason game is not going to change my opinion one iota about this situation. We still don't even listen. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel's going to amount to anything. Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco seems like the logical bet to start the season. Do I think that Shedeur Sanders has earned the opportunity to potentially, earn some more reps with the 1s and 2s? Abso-freaking-lutely. He played well enough to warrant that. But by no means do I think that he should be the starter after this performance. Great, cool. Were you guys all jumping and dancing in the streets when Baker Mayfield went crazy in the preseason back in 2018? No. And Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel accomplished more than Shedeur Sanders did. Both were taken in the 1st round. Shedeur is a 5th-round pick. Let's try to remember that and just get rid of the Sanders name to all this shit. Anyway, rant over. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.